Hello, this is Sid Pedinti, Program Director here at Small Business Growth Program. Thank you for being here. What I have here today for you is Business Roadmap Builder. If you own a business or a professional firm, it's important for you to have a strategic game plan, a master plan, a playbook, if you will, for you to follow in order for you to make the right business, marketing, legal, tech, expansionary decisions, right? You cannot base your business on luck, on chance, on trial and error. Eventually, you'll understand it. But in order to make the right decisions, you have to have a game plan, a roadmap. And that's what this business roadmap builder is going to help you do. I created this almost 10 years ago, working as a bankruptcy restructuring specialist in Toronto, Canada, where my business and my partners and I would help entrepreneurs, business owners, and even people without businesses get out of tough financial situations. And I could say that the number one reason why people ended up in my office was because they lacked a plan, they lacked structure, they didn't have an idea, they didn't have a game plan in mind. They lived their life day to day, thinking about things day to day, responding to things happening around them in a day to day responsive situation, as opposed to being proactive, planning, strategizing, executing as closely as possible to a particular game plan, if you understand what I mean. So, what I'll do is walk you through this business roadmap builder and I'll help you understand the core strategies that in your business that you need to understand in order to have more consistency, more structure, more predictability, and a better understanding and mastery over your whole business, better control. The first concept was start at the basics. It's the business model, right? Your business structure. So as I'm talking through this, I want you to go ahead and walk, pull up your own template and fill this out so that at the end of this particular strategy session, you have something that you can take and implement into your business right after you complete this video, after you watch it. Okay, so let's talk about your business structure and model first of all. So what's your business name? Go ahead and write it down. What industry you operate in? What sort of legal structure do you have? Right? For example, this business is a privately held for-profit company. And so we decided right now it's a company with multiple partners operating in it, and that's the for-profit model we decided to go with. So what is your legal structure? Go ahead and write it down. It'll help you at least visualize and convert things onto the paper, which is the important fact. If you have any special licenses, permits, industry regulations, it's important for you to write it down, have that in your manuscript, so to speak. This is going to be a business manuscript that you can always come back to. Okay, so I operate a law firm, and in a law firm, I have very specific regulations. So, for example, those would go on here. Next, think about your ideal client demographics. Right? What's your age? What's their age? What's their income level? Right? What sort of education do they have, if that is relevant in your business? And I'll give you an example here. For the Small Business Growth Program, the age and income, right? I'm looking for people to join my program who are roughly between 22 and 65, right? Those who have businesses or are thinking of starting a business. In terms of income, ideally, I'd like to work with someone who is generating at least $56,000 or $60,000, so that the strategies that we cover can be actually implemented, and you can see the big shift. However, that said, I did mention that it is for new business owners. So, a lot of business owners, if you do the review and if you do the research on it, have at least a college education, and or at least making $50,000, $60,000 in a part-time income or something else that they can apply towards business. So those would be my criteria to start off. Education level, as I mentioned, college education. interest in online behaviors. When are they online and what on what platforms? I know a lot of business owners, if it's professional or non-professional firms as well, are going to be on LinkedIn, on Facebook, perhaps on Instagram, or on very specific websites that they're researching things on, right? If it's a lawyer, he or she may be on, attorney law magazines or other related above the law sort of websites, blogs, following industry leaders. If they are a realtor, I know realtor.com is a massive database for realtors or MLS. So why are these things important? It's so that you can target them as you're thinking about them. Understanding your customer, understanding your demographics is important. So think about this. What are the platforms that you are on? And how did I target you to come onto this message as you're watching this video? It's a combination of Google, on specific platforms, referral websites, influencers who have sent us business, Facebook, LinkedIn, right? Eventbrite, meetups, seminar, webinars. We host a variety of these on an ongoing basis. And so that's where you probably saw this message, and now walking through this blueprint. So hopefully you've written that down as we're talking about it. Locations, for me, Canada and the U.S. is okay. I'm based out of Los Angeles, so I know in terms of work hours what I have there. Personal time, business owners generally go on during personal hours. But that said, I know during the day, if you don't have an absolutely jam-packed day, you do have time to go on Facebook, you do have time to go on LinkedIn. And that's probably when you saw one of these ads. So, what's the relevancy of this in your business? Write it down. What are you solving for them? Right? The key question. What am I solving with this program? The Small Business Growth Program gives structure, gives understanding, right? I'm empowering you with the decisions as I'm walking you through this blueprint to make decisions with more accuracy, prediction, predict them in a better way, with more confidence, right? With more research behind the decisions so that you can back it up with facts, you can research them, you can analyze it, right? You can track it. So these are all important aspects, and that's what I'm helping you do. So in the same way, what is it that you're empowering your client with, right? Solving for them. And what are the 3 topics that they are following? So, like I said, a lot of business owners are following articles on Entrepreneur Magazine, Forbes magazines, or on blogs from, things like Business Insider, or popular guys, or, key figures, top influencers, thought leaders in the community, like Tony Robbins and Demi John. So these are all the different resources that people are looking into. And in terms of topics, consistency is number 1. Marketing is number 2, right? And how do you make money is probably actually number 1. That's the number 1 thing business owners are looking for, the answer for. How do you make more money? Sure, it's not a simple answer, and it's not, I'll tell you, it's not just marketing. People push this down the throat, unfortunately. I'm sort of use that language, but if I go on my Facebook, and I've seen it on others as well, it's marketing messages. Whether you own a business or not, people are targeting all kinds of folks, right? So, unfortunately, it's, blast marketing is a little bit different. So, sort of spent a little bit of time there, but I thought that was relevant and gives you a little bit of insight on how to think about your client. And all this is very important because as you lay the foundation of your business, as you work through the different segments of this roadmap builder, that information will just get filtered and narrowed and more channeled so that by the end of it, you have a clear goal, an action plan you can walk out with. In terms of pricing model, what's your best seller? For us, it's the $1,500 3-month empowerment program, right? The implementation program, where we're going to implement everything you see on this blueprint and work with you so that it's implemented. And then we provide the live feedback, question and answer sessions, the support, so that you actually implement them and walk out with the results. In 3 months, our goal is for you to generate revenue, you know, two, three, 500 times the cost of the program with the strategies that you learn in it. And it has the potential to do that, right? So that's for me the highest profit margin, $1,500. Second highest is our more reserved invitation only growth mastery program, right? Where we're only dealing with a select number of people, business owners and attorneys and doctors and coaches. And the premise of the program is to spend more time with them, right? But there we're dedicating a lot more of our time, but at the same, on the same hand, or on the same in the same coin, the other flip side is that we're getting more revenue out of it. But in terms of pure profit margin, I like to think of profit margin even in terms of time invested, right? For me, in the implementation program where we've digitized our knowledge, I can sell that, sell 100 of those in a day with very minimal effort, where, the second one is a bit different. It involves a little bit of my time, my thought process, my involvement, and so, that's how you want to think about your business as well. Now, in terms of doing the math, I'll give you a simple example. Let's keep the math simple, right? The magic figure, $1 million. If I want to generate that in 2017, let's take it as 12 months, okay? So mid 2018, 1 year from now, each transaction, if I said that through both my programs, for simplicity, let's talk about one program, $1,500 program, implementation program. If I'm looking to generate $1 million in my business, right, as business revenue, and let's say I'm operating at 50% profit margin, so my goal is to walk away with $500,000 in my pocket, right? Let's talk about, so we're looking at roughly $80,000 or $83,000 a month, which comes down to roughly, between 20 and 22,000. So for simplicity, let's say 20,000 a week, right? How many transactions do I need? Let's work backwards again. I need 4,000 a day, right? Multiplied by 5 days a week, so 20,000. So I need $4,000 every single day, which is roughly 2 to 3 clients for me, right? And if that happens every single day, I'll hit my target of $80,000 a month. And so in your business, what do you need in terms of transactions? Work that through. And that's, building, that's going to help you build out your marketing plan and everything else that falls into it. So what's the quickest and most effective way for you to attain those goals? For me, seminars, videos, workshops, right? I do great at that, right? A lot of my clients are not comfortable doing seminars or public speaking. They prefer to talk and screen their clients one-on-one. In my law firm, I prefer that model where I'm screening clients before I take them on. So there, it's the one-on-one consultation. So, think about, again, in your business, what's the quickest and most effective way for you to hit your goals based on what we just talked about, the money math. Okay, and so based on all this, now that's the core business model. Write down the 3 different action plans that you are going to take to implement what you just put out right here. Hopefully you have all this filled out. What are the 3 takeaway action plans for you this week based on all this, the strategic shifts in your business that you're going to do? So once you have that figured out, the second core strategy is disruptive marketing. Again, it doesn't matter whether we're talking about Facebook, Google, banner, display, radio, TV. It doesn't matter. I've done all those for the last 20 plus years. And again, it comes down to the thought process, the structure, the workflow, the operational elements, step-by-step processes on how you're going to convert those people. Sure, people advertise $1 million for 30-second spots. now it's I think $4 or $5 million for a Super Bowl commercial, 30-second spot, reaching an estimated 30 or 40 million people at once. But it's, again, look at the ads. It's completely disruptive. They catch your attention, seize it, make you remember the message. And that's what you're trying to do. Resonate with your client, get them to grasp your message, understand it, and then walk out, hopefully contacting you and doing business with you. Or spreading your word to somebody else. Hey, did you hear about this ad? Or did you hear about the seminar? Hey, did you hear about this law firm? Did you hear about this insurance company? Right? Whatever you're selling. So, what's your current process? Right? Your lead generation mechanism. Is it free? Is it paid? Is it through partnerships? Is it through referrals? So I want you to write that down. How much time do you invest in generating these things? Right? Whatever you're managing, I want you to clock it in and clock it out. So you can now start getting efficient and productive. If think the way you have to treat your business is as though you were going to work somewhere, right? If you were the CEO of a large enterprise, you'd be expected to log in just like everyone else into the system, right? So the work you do is tracked, the progress you're making for your business, and the momentum you're able to gain is going to be tracked. It's going to be analyzed, and benchmarks are going to be established for you to hit, plain and simple. So I want you to do the same thing in your business, right? If you want to make the revenue that a CEO of a business, an established company, right, an organization, a Fortune 500 company makes, you have to think the same way. You have to implement the same systems. You have to follow the same processes and have the same structure, right? Have the same team of advisors. And here, what we're doing is digitizing some of that knowledge that you would gain in terms of strategy. What the team of strategists would give a CEO in a large firm is what we're digitize for you, some of those things. And that's what goes in here, right? That's important. So how much time do you invest? I want you to go ahead and start tracking it. What's the most successful lead generation mechanism right now? How much does it cost you? Also think about the opportunity cost, right? In terms of how much time you're investing and what ROI you're actually getting out of it versus maybe outsourcing or picking another advertising channel, right? Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, email, what do you use? Print, radio, display. Go ahead and write all these things down. It's fairly simple. I want you to write down how much you're spending, how much you're generating, how many hours you invest in each of it. And quite honestly, in terms of an action plan, I want you to pick the top 3 ways for you to maximize your reach, your ability to attract clients and deliver to clients, and which medium do you think in an ideal business for you, your dream business that you like to do. Okay, so that's what this is. Excuse me. So that gives you a fairly good glimpse of some of the strategies a blueprint would have, right? I don't want to walk through the rest of it. This is just to give you a base idea of some of the things we'll talk about in the seminar and that we're going to explore one-on-one so that you can gain an understanding on. So I'm just going to walk through this very quickly. You will get a template of this in the seminar. This is the exact template that we're going to walk through and help you build so that by the time you walk out, you can implement this stuff right away. So third strategy is how to build authority. What value do you offer? What are some of the benefits of dealing with you? How are, what are you solving for them? And so, using these 3 things, we're going to help you develop authority, points of authority that you can sell to them. Lead magnets, or how you would draw them in. For example, this blueprint that I have here is something that I could easily charge $500 to $1,000 for, right? And I have in the past. And so giving this as a template for you and giving you a base idea of walking this through this with you will give you an understanding of, helping you set me up as the authority in this right now. Anything on here, I can definitely discuss. So you're coming to me or reaching out to my firm because you value what I'm offering to you. And so in the same way, it's for you to your client, right? What are the hot topics? What are your core skills? What are the three problems that you're trying to solve for them? And let's go ahead and come up with something you can write about, or you can shoot a video about that would enable them to watch this or hook on or contact you. Okay, so the other things are again educational hooks. We have client engagement strategies, screening system so you can do it more effectively, the conversion pitch, which is the most important, how to convert them, right? The script, specifically the step-by-step processes that you need to follow so that you can pre-sell them and by the end of your session they're sold, they sell themselves. How to generate referrals, about technology and how to expand it. So these are all the different strategies, the techniques, the systems, the forces that are absolutely critical in your business that we're going to talk about during the seminar. Once again, I thank you for staying here. If you're still watching this video, it's going to be an action-packed seminar. I look forward to seeing you there. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us here. Okay? Thanks again. Sid Padinti here. Bye-bye.